Hello and welcome to New Rockstars. My name is Sam Bashor. The Batman is soaring back into cinemas on June 25th, 2021, and this ain't your daddy's bat flick, no sir or ma'am. We've got a spry young buck donning the cowl and beating the snot out of Gotham's best-dressed criminals. Robbie Bobby Robert Pattinson will be joining director Matt Reeves for a new chapter of The Bat. Whether this is acknowledging Ben Affleck or the DCU is too early to call. As of right now, since the last we heard, the film will be following a younger Batman in his formative years. We've also got casting news of multiple baddies and goodies showing up alongside Edward Cullen, but I've got a theory I've been piecing together that I'd love to share with you if you'll let me. Now, this is based off of existing comic book storylines, along with casting rumors and spoilers for other Batman properties. Here's what we know so far. Robert Pattinson from Twilight fame, and also please go watch Good Time in the Lighthouse. He's in those, and he's incredible. He will be suiting up in the latex bat suit. No word yet on how nippled it will be, but we'd always dream. Jeffrey Wright, who most of you probably recognize from WESTWORLD, will be joining us as our new Commissioner Gordon. I'll say I'm a little bummed that we're not seeing J.K. Simmons return with that glorious mustache, but Jeffrey Wright is some good casting. No word yet on Batman's supporting staff, aka Robin, or Robbins, or Alfred. No word if Jeremy Irons will be returning, but he's doing such a good job right now as Ozymandias, quote, on Watchmen, so I'll take the wins when I can get them. Speaking of wins, Zoe Kravitz is once again being cast as Catwoman. Selena Kyle. Fan-freaking-tastic choice. If you guys don't remember, she played Catwoman in the Batman Lego movie, and that one was amazing. Our last confirmation is Paul Dano as the Riddler, aka Edward Nashton. That name comes to be a little bit of a surprise, don't you think? I'm only familiar with the name Edward Nygma. Apparently in the comics, Edward's birth name is Nashton, and once he goes full question mark, he changes his name. Let's go ahead and keep that in mind for later, for my theory. Matt Reeves, our Bat director, helmed the latter two Planet of the Apes prequels and did a phenomenal job, in my opinion, and directed the American adaptation of Let the Right One In, Let Me In. And if you want to see his work with a Bat-themed protagonist taking out people in the night, there you go. So he's worked on a vampire movie, and now he's got one of the most famous vampire actors on board to play a Bat-themed hero. Just putting all the pieces together to make a wonderful puzzle. But back to the villains. We've heard rumors that a cornucopia of Bat villains will be appearing in this film. It sounds like this will be a fully functioning Gotham that fans will be familiar with if they've ever read a comic or ever played an ARKHAM video game. As for who we'll be seeing, we've heard rumors for the past few months that Jonah Hill might be joining as either the Riddler, not anymore, or the Penguin. Now we know that Jonah has stepped down for a number of reasons that you can read online, so we're not going to be seeing him, but who will be our next Penguin? I'll leave that up to you guys. But joining these two cuties, we've heard rumors that Two-Face, Bane, Scarecrow, Mad Hatter, and everyone's favorite, say it with me if you know it, Firefly, could be appearing in this film. He's just a dude with a wingsuit and a flamethrower. But of course, no confirmation as of yet, but I can understand the inclusion of these characters. Most of these heavy hitters we've seen divvy up Gotham into different gang territories in the comics or in the animated series. You have Penguin's Iceberg Lounge, if you're familiar with that. You have Riddler's questionable hideout, pretty good. If I see one Riddler trophy in this movie, I'm walking out. No, I'll go find mine and I'll come back and watch the rest of the movie. And I don't know, Bane's hanging out in a Planet Fitness or something. Each of these characters, while most have had their own solo films versus the Bat, wouldn't have to be the key villain for this film, except for one that I think deserves one more swing at getting his more serious Bat flick. Bat flick, not Bat fleck. Like we said, no official synopsis released except for this will be more of a detective story than previous films. Not that we haven't had mysteries to solve before in other movies, but now I think we're going to be diving into a serious crime thriller. Getting David Fincher vibes. That immediately brings two ideas that could be easily married together on the big screen. Looking at the two most iconic Batman tales in DC history, I think we've got the framework for a solid Bat movie. Turn your eyes towards The Long Halloween and Hush. Let's start with The Long Halloween, an unforgettable Bat tale following the holiday killer. To keep this story tight, I'll just say we see Bruce Wayne teaming up with Harvey Dent pre-Two-Face and Jim Gordon to uncover the systematic killings of members of Gotham's crime families, the Maronis and the Falcones. Long story short, we see in this story a retelling of Harvey Dent's descent into becoming Two-Face and follows a gripping tale with many twists and even uncovering that Thomas Wayne had ties to the Gotham crime family. It really messes up Bruce's day when he finds that out. Bruce is not only betrayed by his family, but also by his friend Harvey Dent. Now we've seen this before in The Dark Knight in some way, so that's why I want to mention Hush. Now Hush is unbelievably famous, but if you haven't heard of it before, Hush follows a conspiracy that involves Batman's entire rogues gallery. We're talking everybody. He even fights Superman in this story. Incredible. And this all leads to the creation of one of his most iconic villains, in my opinion, Hush, aka Tommy Elliot. We learned that Tommy and Bruce were childhood friends, and Tommy's harbored a grudge against Bruce since then. When Riddler approaches Tommy with the knowledge that Bruce is Batman, they team up together to take Batman down once and for all. Now, Hush is one of my favorite new newer Batman villains, and I could see him in this film. However, since the reveal that Paul Dano was cast as Edward Nashton and not Edward Nygma, could we see the Riddler taking over the role of Harvey Dent or Tommy Elliott and start out as a friend to Bruce, assisting him along the way and then turning against his friend and becoming the Riddler that we know and love? We're talking full spandex question marks, up, down, cane, and a little bowler cap. We could see someone who's been obsessed with being the smartest person in the room his entire life, having to be the one to one-up his longtime friend and rival, Bruce Wayne. Now, if that specific origin for the Riddler might not be your cup of tea, I'm a big fan of it. We could still see the Riddler team up with the likes of Hush and Two-Face and manipulate them due to their own falling outs with Bruce. My point is that I think the most impressive thing we could see in this movie is a hyper-intelligent villain that takes on Batman, and I think the Riddler is the man for the job, setting up elaborate traps along the way that would send Gotham's finest villains after the Bat. Along the way, we could see Catwoman teaming up with Batman to cover the truth behind the plot, to undermine Bruce and take over Gotham. You guys have heard this before, and there'll be plenty of smooching along the way, I guarantee it. Now, I know filmmakers have done a solid job taking inspiration from comic book storylines or events and making them their own work for their version of the character, but I feel like this would be the most reliable roadmap for the Batman movie. But what do you guys think? Could you see the Riddler taking center stage in 2021 versus Robbie Bobby Pattinson? Would you want to see Hush in this movie or have him have his own solo film? Let me know what you think down below and follow me on Twitter at Sam Bashor. Check out my new show, One More Time with Sam Bashor, on my YouTube channel or anywhere you get your podcast. It's a show where I watch bad movies with my friends just one more time. See if they get good. I'm watching Suicide Squad, I'm scared. Subscribe to New Rockstars for more content just like this, and I'll see you guys next time.